So you're worried you don't have enough faith. You aren't even sure if God's real or if he's with you sometimes. Doubt creeps in, you feel guilty. You muscle through it the best that you can, commanding yourself to believe anyway. Guess what? You're not alone. I was a pastor and a missionary, and I still had these doubts. From 2018 to 2021, I was bedridden most of the time. I was so fearful of dying. It doesn't have to be that way. Faith is a gift from God, and it is something that can be developed and cultivated just like the other gifts. You don't just tell yourself you have to have more faith. There's an actual process. The gift of faith Paul wrote about in 1 Corinthians 12, it really is a gift. It is often accompanied by the other gifts of the Spirit, and if you're willing to step out and pray for someone, you already have faith the size of a mustard seed. You already have it, but it can be grown and it can be developed. Usually what's missing is the person's ability to see what God's doing in the moment. What is God actually up to? As you step out and take risks with God and you see him work signs, wonders, and miracles, the faith increases and you draw closer to God. This is the gift he gives us for our willingness to be obedient. It continually compounds. It can be cultivated and it can be grown. In the Philippines in 2024, I prayed for this blind and deaf woman who was healed. It was great. It was pretty crazy, to be honest. But I had much more faith than when I prayed for the next woman who had a bad knee. God also healed her, and I went on to pray for a third woman with a severe back problem. I don't know if God healed the third woman, but it was about 120 degrees in the hallway as I was praying for her, and it was a place that she was living in with her 3 small children. She said that she felt a blast of cold air come into the room, and it hit her like ice, and while the rest of us were pouring sweat, she wasn't pouring sweat anymore. She got touched by God that day. This series of events increased my faith a great deal, and it also helped in my understanding of situations and specifically with the gift of discerning of spirits. What is God actually up to in the moment? So here's what we do. We get out there and we take a risk. We got to take the risk. We learn to hear God's voice with more clarity. We practice with exercises that help us to build that clarity. And we go to God daily and talk with him about the wonders that we see and that he does around us. And when we see him do these crazy things, we give him thanks over and over and over again because he's good. Even when we don't see it, we give him thanks for what he's done in our lives and for who he is. Watch how God builds your faith and shows you how to grow in the gifts as you step out in these risks. God is going to continue to grow you in faith, and he's going to continue to grow you in the gifts of the Spirit as you press in. Keep watching and hit that button if you want to grow deeper in your relationship with God in the gifts of the Spirit.